In this video, we'll learn how to find the average value of a function of three variables. We have a theorem that tells us how to compute the volume. This theorem states that if we have a function of three variables that is integrable over a region, we can find the average value of the function by evaluating the triple integral of the function over the region E, and then multiplying this value by 1 over the volume. It's important to note how we find the volume of the region E. We can compute this by evaluating the triple integral of 1 over the region E. This means we can integrate 1 with respect to each of the variables x, y, and z, and evaluate the result over the intervals where x, y, and z are defined in E. This formula can be used in real-world applications, like finding the average temperature of an area. Let's try an example of this. In this problem, we want to find the average value of the function f of xyz equals x plus y plus z, and we're given the region E, where x is defined from 0 to 1, y is defined from 0 to 3, and z is defined from 0 to 5. First, we need to find the volume of the region. We'll integrate first with respect to x, then y, and then with respect to z. So, we'll work from the inside out of this triple integral. This gives us the integral from 0 to 5 of the integral from 0 to 3 of x dy dz. Now, we'll take the integral with respect to y and evaluate it from 0 to 3. By doing this, we get the integral from 0 to 5 of 3. Finally, if we integrate 3 with respect to z, we get 3z, and we'll evaluate this from 0 to 5. This gives us a volume of 15 cubic units. Now that we've found the volume, we can find the average value of the function. We'll use the formula for the average value and set up our equation like this. We're going to integrate with respect to x, then y, then z, just as we did before to find the volume. First, integrating with respect to x and evaluating from 0 to 1, we get 1 over 15 times the integral from 0 to 5 of the integral from 0 to 3 of 1/2 plus y plus z dy dz. Integrating next with respect to y and evaluating from 0 to 3, we get 1 over 15 times the integral from 0 to 5 of 6 plus 3 z dz. Finally, we'll integrate with respect to z to get 1 over 15 times the quantity 6z plus 3z squared over 2, and we'll evaluate this from 0 to 5. Evaluating from 0 to 5 gives us 9/2. Therefore, the average value of the function x plus y plus z over the region E is 9/2.